Good morning, guys. Johnny here, Mr. Forex Fire. A little bit earlier start this morning with regards to these setups. We've had the anchor. This is on a break of Asian high on the EG. And from there, we can confirm from that anchor from the anchor on the conditions. We did, in fact, have our separation candles, and then from there we're looking for a bearish candle after a bullish, so a bearish engulfing after a bullish. We've got it right here, so we on for 1 to 2, and we're about halfway there. I've just started putting these into the Discord as well. So we've got two entries. We've got the CAD-JPY as well, guys, which has just hit 2%. I'm just going to put this into here. Let's put that in there. So we'll look at the breakdown of the CAD-JPY again. We'll come out the New York PM in the Asian, bounced around, broke the Asian high, come down to 50% of the Asian back into 50% of the displacement. We have on the condition, we have the candles of separation. Now we look for a bearish candle after a bullish engulfing. A bullish candle followed by a bearish engulfing. We got it right here. Entry, a little bit of drawdown, and bang, 2% winner. We'll just run through some of the other ones. Euro GBP, sideways. Euro USD. We do have a break at the moment. However, I'm not liking the return instantly. It sort of came in, it's touched straight in, so I'm going to leave that at the minute. The G odd. We are getting a break of the Asian high, so we've got the high to the low. We can put this into the watch list. Euro USD, that's what I didn't like. GBP JPY. We did have a break earlier from after the Asian. We do have a touch into the 50%. From there, we move it to the condition. So we'll go from the high down to the low. Okay. And then we're going to be looking for separation candles. See, once you get used to this, it just becomes all second nature. And then we go from the high again down to that low. We're going to look for a bullish candle followed by a bearish engulfing. This is it right here. But I'm not too keen on it, to be fair. I'm just going to have a look at the setup and then I'll decide whether it's... So that's it after that. That's the high. 50 pips is a bit much to be doing. We'll put this on a pink. Okay, we'll put it on a pink. Like I say, you're going to need 100 pips just for that move, and I wouldn't really be looking to get in on it. So we'll put this pink. We'll put it on a test phase. But like I say, I wouldn't have it if that's a 50 pip stop loss or a 100 pip gain, you know. So we'll just put that on a pink. We'll see what happens with it. GU, we just done before. UCAD, we're still sideways. U-Chef, bit of a breakout. We're waiting for a return as we've done this. Push up, push down, push up, and then possibly a push back in. I'll just keep that there. UG, again, broke the Asian high, down to that low, moving the condition, Asian high, down to the low was the separation candles. Yes, there was two separation candles. From the high down to the low. We look for, because it's a sell, a bullish candle after the touch, followed by a bearish engulfing. Have a look right there. Just above here. It's been a little bit of drawdown, but again, look for a 1 or 2. So we've got a setup there. And we'll make that green. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 setups. Let's go back to the CAD-JPY. We have hit 2%. Is that the word? Yeah, I just put that in there. Euro JPY. Just put the 1% marker in. GBP JPY. Like I said, I'm not liking the look of this because you can see here 483. That's 48 pips to nearly 96 pips of profit it's going to need to do. The news today. I did put the news in, the GBP. There is no GBP news. There is JPY CPI news later on tonight, but it's not going to come in where we need it to be fair. Go back on this U card, U chef. Right, so we are getting the movement down here. I want to see more displacement coming down here, maybe touching to this fair value gap sort of thing. They create a lot of volume to the downside before coming back up into here. So then we can come down and target in here. I just need to keep an eye on that. To be fair, I don't want this to be sort of consolidating up on the buy side. Euro odd, we'll go back onto that. Right, so we've had the touch in. Let's take a look at this. So that's up to there, that's down to there. There has been separation candles. Go from the high down to the bottom. There's the touch. We need a buy followed by a bearish engulfing. So we've had buys but didn't bearish engulf, buys didn't bearish engulf. So this is just meandering about on here. So we need to keep an eye on the euro odd. We've come in, we've had the touch. Again, high down to that low. We've got the condition of separation. Again, we'll go to high, down to that low. We're looking for bullish, followed by a bearish engulfing. So there's two we're watching at the minute on this. Looks like we may be getting an entry on the euro odd, or a possibility of one. Although we're not, because that's the 5 minute. What am I looking at? We're looking at this. That's the condition one. I do apologize. So we're looking at the minute entry on this. So this can go down into here. So can this. Go back like G or. Right, so it looks like we could be getting an entry on this one. That'll be where the entry is. Just above. Down below. And the candle's gone bullish now. 15 seconds to go. 6 seconds. It looks like we're going to have to wait for the next candle. Go back to that euro odd again. Remember, we need bullish candle and then bearish engulfing. So there's bullish, bearish didn't engulf, bullish, bearish didn't engulf, bullish, bearish didn't engulf, bullish, the bearish could engulf this. So we could try and see if we can get a setup here. Again, the candle starting to turn green again. Go back on the G odd. There's 19 seconds left on that one. This one's still bullish. So we're just watching this candle. We needed to come below this here. 3 seconds left, and it hasn't done it. So again, we wait for a bullish candle to come in. Go back on the G odd. We still haven't had a bullish followed by bearish. Let's have a look at the ones. That's the 2% there. That's coming down the marker of 1%. The tester is meandering about on the entry. The UJ. We'll get this set up on the 1%. So we just get this set up on here. That there's the 1% line. GJ, AJ, Euro odd. Right, so we could be getting an engulfing coming in a minute, and the same applies with this one. So we'll just keep an eye on these two. 40 odd seconds. Got 30 odd seconds. Looks like it doesn't want to play at the minute still. Yeah, it's still messing around. This is what I like about the 1 minute, because you still got a mechanic to go through before you're officially getting entry. Did we engulf? No, we equaled. It's got to engulf it, guys. It's got to engulf it. Let's have a look on the EG, see where we are. EG. Still heading towards the 1%. GG. Still at the entry. UG. We're coming down to 1%. So we've got eyes on the prize on two of them still. G here and E here. So we need a bullish candle, and then we need that next one to be bearish engulfing. Again, if this comes up and strikes out the top of this here, it just makes the entry void. This is what I like about that 1 minute. Like I said earlier, you're creating a mechanic before you're getting in on an entry. So I'll get this up here. I need to come below here. Look at that 8 year. Again, we're running out of volume, to be fair, 5 or 6 pips worth of volume. But again, we're waiting for that engulfing to come in. Yeah, again, it's 1 and 2. It's just it's not pushing. It's not giving the volume hard enough. And what we can see here, I mean, obviously it's consolidated here, and then there was a volume burst there. So again, we still wait for the breakdown. Yeah, we still need to see a breakdown. We're going to need that bullish candle again. I do want to pause it because obviously we're going to run into where I'll miss it. So I just need to stay on the live at the minute, or at least keep recording until we get the candle formation. It's all about your candlestick formation. We're just actively watching me. We've got 1.5 minutes because we still need to get a bullish candle. So if we go and have another look at the EJ, GJ, and UJ. So again, heading towards the 1%, still at the entry area on the tester. And we're coming back up to entry on the UJ again, out of session pair. But so was the CAD-JPY, So we'll come back in the 8 year. And this can't, right, so we could get it on this next candle because that candle had just been, there's a hammer, so we could get the bearish engulfing here. Yeah, same on here as well, guys. I've got a feeling we've got an entry on both sides after this. Twenty odd seconds to go. Look at this, it's flattening out. 13 seconds. 7 seconds. No, still green. So it's a doji, so we could still see this next candle here could be bearish. And this one's ended up being a bit bullish. So it looks like we're waiting for that next candle. You can see how the volume's been pretty good on the row of candles here. Then we've had some consolidation with a little bit of volume, a volume burst with a little bit of selling pressure. But as the candles have gone up, they've got weaker and weaker and weaker. Then they tried one more time. Then we came in, took around about 50% of this candle. Buying power tried to come back in, but just couldn't keep with the pace. It is starting to wean off a bit, but again, this isn't helping us with regards to what we need to see. We need to see that bearish engulfing after a bullish. The euro odd again, it's trying to push higher. So again, we just need to be mindful of what we're looking at. And just wait for those setups. We'll come back in the EJ, GJ, UJ. We'll come back up into the 1 minute entry that we're looking at. All right, so we've got 20 odd seconds and we're getting that bearish candle. But you see these rejections? You've got liquidity forming along here. and you've got candles come down trying to push into here. We've had a double tap. Double tap on the liquidity here. So again, as much as this gets frustrating, it keeps you out of a bad trade. You know, you have mechanics going along the whole thing. And that's what you want. You want something with a good rule-based system, and that's what this gives you. It gives you an amazing rule-based system because you might have wanted to get in on an entry just because it touched a 50% on here, but unless you get the volume where it's telling you there's a bearish engulfing, then you know that you're not supposed to be in the trade, and it looks like that rule and that mechanic has kept us out of a bad decision at the minute because we're now 2 or 3 pips from taking that high. So again, there's a reason why we have that condition and safety net there. It's imperative, and as much as this gets closer and closer to that high, the less and less favorable this setup is, to be fair. So we've got euro odds. Like I say, you're talking about five pips or so now, And what started as a 1 to 2 has now come down to a 1 to 5, so we can bring this down a bit more. Which wait and see if we'll get that bearish engulfing. This would also give us a good opportunity for further targets for, let's say, the Asian low. You see here, we could target an Asian low as well on a double setup. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a moment if we do get a setup on a bearish engulfing. But we need to see that push down. We need to see the push down. It's like I say, if I was to copy that there now, if I was to clone it, okay, and let's say you got a bearish engulfing and you went to attack the Asian low, there's a 1 to 5.45, But again, we need to see a bullish followed by bearish engulfing, and we're just not getting that at the minute. It's just massively messing around with the setup at the minute. And it'll be the same with the geode as well. There's every chance. I see the Asian low, there's every chance you could go for a 1.563 there, but we just need to go for the 1 to 2s at the moment. That's if it presents itself. We'll go back to the 8 year. But from what I'm saying, it looks as if this is going to take out that high. You go on the mechanics again. Now you're talking about 3, 4 pips now, you know what I mean? We'll see. We'll get this entry. My feelings is it's going to go and take out that London high that it's previously done. I'd be very reluctant to get in on an entry when it's so close to that high. But again, like I say, I fall back onto that aspect of the mechanics. Okay, the mechanics. It's going to keep you out of a bad trade, having to keep this in the trading plan where you're waiting for the engulfing candle before you get the setup. So we're right on the cusp of this taking out the high. And if it does, we'll just take away these two and we know we've got 4 decent entries. That geode. Put this over here, because again, we haven't, although that does have an entry there, to be fair. That was an entry. That was that there. You've got a 1 to 2 right there. I'm not liking this setup. It's too close. Yeah, I'm not liking this setup, guys. Uh, You turn it pink because, like I say, it's only 3 or 4 pips, 6 pips of stop loss. So we're going to monitor that, but we'll also take it down to the low. So 1 to 6. Can't see price hold on that one, to be fair. It's not acting. It's not acting good. Yeah, it's going to push to the high. You can see just on here on the 5 minute, it's just pure volume coming in. And again, in fact, no, this wouldn't have been a trade. I'm going to knock that off, and I'll tell you why. I'll show you why. We can see we'll come in. The leg is double tapped. It's instantly on the next leg. You see this here? Double bottom. This is instantly tapped into the 50%. So that wouldn't have been a trade, in fairness. So we'll put this back up to here. And it's the same with the euro order as well. Look, double bottom, tap straight in the 50. So again, my bad. That would never have been or should never be a trade. This is why I like the mechanics. It's still keeping you out of bad situations. So we're going to roll with what we've got at the minute. We've got the CAD JPY, which we've got 2% winner, albeit the entry was earlier. The AJ, we're almost at 1%. Okay. The GJ, we're still meandering about. Again, this one's a 50 pip move, guys, so I'm not really liking that to start with. The UJ will back up at entry. Okay. So I'm going to pause the video and I'll be back in a short while, guys. I'm just going to let these play out. I'm going to try and keep this one a little shorter today. I'll see you in a bit. Right, so we can see from say we swept the low, but then we went and swept the high. Okay, so when we swept the low, we went and swept the high. We've created a new higher high. We're coming down to a lower low. I'm hoping for something along the lines of that now. So again, what we can do, we can follow the price as we swept both sides, and we'll see what happens with that. We'll bring this into the 15-minute anchor. We will turn it orange. We'll go to the Euro USD. Again, following price. On this also, we've sort of came in, we broke, come down. Made a high, we want to come down into here, then we want to try and take off. So we'll be waiting for something along the lines of that. And again, we're just going to be, let's take a look at this, up to this. We're waiting for the condition to come in. I'll change that to orange G odds. This one I didn't like because we come straight into 50% on the anchor. So we were ignoring that. The GU, we've come and swept down out of the Asian, so inside the range, we'll come down, we'll come back in, we've made a lower, we'll come up to make a high, or a low high, considering that there. Okay, so again, we'll technically follow the price on that. But again, I don't want to see price from this high come and touch into this instantly. It's something we're factoring in now on the setups. We need price to sort of create the condition of a little bit of consolidation within that. So I'll drop this into here. We'll make this yellow as well. The USD card, stuck in range. USD Swiss franc. So we've come down, and this is where we've touched in at the moment. It's it's trending now. This is trending. You know, we're starting to come into a bit of a trend. I want to see if I just do this from here. Yeah, there's a range from that lower low to that lower high. We want to see this sort of break through this a bit more and then come back, if that makes sense. It just means what I can do is I can create maybe something down here after it comes to 50% of that actual range. I just want to see a bit more displacement coming down. What we can see inside of here as well, okay, just take a look. We are fighting against fair value here. We didn't mitigate fully through this down here neither. So again, it would be nice even if this came down to touch into this a bit more. I'll keep an eye on that just for the hell of it. Okay, so we'll go through the Yankers again. Okay, we're waiting for price action. And again, I'm not liking this one simply because price has wick down to here. Okay, you can see the wick. Price has wick down to here and it's now coming back up into the 50 instantaneously in the same time frame. So that's telling me that the volume is still there for a continuation of bullishness. I'll just keep it there though, just to watch on it. Euro USD. Again, we've got highs, lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. And again, for those guys that follow harmonics, we could come into the order block here. So there is a harmonic form in there. The volume is pretty strong still, so we might come up higher, maybe up into the true day open, even though it's been there before. I've got a feeling this is going to push higher as well. So again, it is heading towards an anchor, but again, we've swept the low. This may continue and try and come above these areas. Okay, there's liquidity residing on not just from this here, but also across this level. So we may come up and test up into this, which would then give us that lovely sort of harmonic where it might react from. Okay, going on a tangent there, but just obviously my eyes and what I see with regards to patterns and things like that. The GU, again, the GU pretty similar with regards to the pattern because GU and EU sort of go in tandem with each other. You can see from here, you're coming down to possibly a similar sort of thing here with regards to a bat harmonic. We'll follow on price. This might just continue bullish after it's swept these liquidity lows here. Again, I'm factoring in price action and tick reading from, well, not so much tick reading, but sort of the tape, that's the word, tape reading from following the price action. And as you can see in here as well, we do have fair value here. So it's tapping into a fair value. You've got the high. You've obviously got the liquidity lower highs here. So there's a tap or there's a form of liquidity where it would want to go into to maybe start a target down here as well, if that makes sense. So a bit of a price action following lesson there. So again, the U-Chef, we are coming down into this area. So again, we could sort of follow a little bit. It has tapped into that 50% fair value I mentioned. I would like to see it come down lower, okay? Possibly touch down into this order block here. To be fair, I would possibly like it to come down to touch into here, then to a retrace up, if that makes sense, because then it's given us the displacement volume then. Again, you know the CAD JPY, you know that went to 2%. We'll just let that load up. So that was a nice 2% earlier. Euro JPY, we've been to 1%. Now we're sort of messing around towards this area here. Again, I don't like to be in trades for too long on this setup system. The tester, which was a JPY, there was a 50 pip stop loss, which I wasn't too happy about, but we were keeping an eye on this just for a simple price watch area. And again, if I go into the Discord, we can see that Mr. Phil Clark actually got 2% on the GG earlier this morning. So well done. And he's got NG well on the way. So it's good to see people are having success with this. USD JPY, we have tapped into 1%. It's just meandering about. The news for today is not a huge amount. There is job claims at 1:30, so that could have a factor in movement on the USD. Retail sales as well on the card. But again, we're also waiting for to see if Trump is going to put these tariffs in. This is the thing when Trump's in power, if he's going to impose tariffs on things like the Canadians, all the Canadians will do is on their wood and things like that, they'll just incur tariffs or percentages. They'll put the prices up on that for when the Americans are buying their wood. Because again, when we go into building permits and everything else, they'll place that increase of tariff that the Americans have done and just put it onto their sort of pricing of the wood. So it's just going to counteract each other. So one's waiting to see what the other one's doing before that actually happens. We've got consumer price later on tonight. Expect some huge moves on the JPY pairs. So if you've got anything holding later on tonight on JPY, be very, very careful, because when these come in, it tends to have a big effect on the JPY. It's like USD JPY and things like that. So we'll have another quick run through this, guys. We've got Euro GBP again. Wanted to come down. I wanted to sort of do this and then come into 50%, So at the moment, it's reacting the way I wanted to. What we can see is the fair value, which was that there. It's tapped into that and mitigated it. The Euro USD, again, we're following price. We're looking for a bit of a harmonic pattern. I did say we'd probably come up and touch into true day or maybe up into this higher order block area. Price is still a bit more volume in this. We can see on there. And again, it has left fair value in the 50% area. So this could come touch the order block, come down, touch the imbalance and fair value, and then it may want to rocket off to the higher highs, to be fair. So we just need to be mindful of that. And more so, this would be more or less the same with the GU. At the minute, we are tapping into an order block here, a fair value, sorry. You do have an order block on the top side where there's liquidity residing there. There's an order block there. Okay, so again, we're just watching what prices are doing at the moment. And then the U chef, again, I want to see price come and break down through this fair value, come back and retest maybe into a fair value left behind here, up on the higher side. So when we follow price coming down, 50% may be coming into a fair value gap. That's what I would like to see. What's going to happen, it does not mean it's going to happen, So we're just actively watching this. Again, if this is just going to be a continuation of a trend, it could be that this is just tapped into the fair value gap, and then it's going to come up and it's going to start attacking this high here. And the volume might just basically be that of lower lows, lower highs, higher highs, sorry, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and higher. This might just go on to being bullish today. We just need to watch what it's doing, be mindful of the price action. So you're still got to factor in the stuff of liquidity. Where's the liquidity? Where's the order blocks? Where's the fair value gaps and things like that? Okay, just to go off on a tangent for a second there. What we'll do is I'll pause the video. I'll be back in a short while. Again, I might miss one or two of these. It's just I've got things going on this morning, but I'll try and get back and try and capture what we're seeing on these from time to time as well. Okay. So again, on the CAD JPY, there was 2% hit. The Euro JPY, we are coming back up towards every but 1%. There's like 3 at the moment. Entry on this at the moment, we're at 1%. That is taken. So that's a possible 4% so far over 2, 4, 6, 8. So we're like got half of what the profit target areas that we set. Okay, I'll pause the video. Be back in a short while. Right, so let's take a look, guys. We do need to follow a price. We are getting what I wanted to see. We've now come down to here. I want to see a push up into the 50. Then for us to go lower. So we are waiting for a touch on this. The only problem is if this touches now, okay, if this goes and touches now, we're not going to have a separation candle, so it will keep us out of a trade, to be fair. Euro USD, we'll see what's happening with that. We just have not had a pullback, so I'm going to put that back into the red. That'll go back up here. We can see we've swept. Again, remember when I said a harmonic, okay? This, down to this, down to this, down to this. It is coming up towards the high. It is starting to sweep down, to be fair. So it has made the harmonic I thought it was going to do. I'll keep an eye on that one, actually, to be fair. We may get a pullback, but again, pip wise, not 2013 pips, to be fair. So Euro GBP. Yeah, so look at this, guys. We come down high, low, we touched into it. Did we get the condition? No, because the volume comes straight into the 50%. So it's not a trade I'd be looking at, to be fair. So I'll turn that red. That'll go back. Euro USD was the one I was potentially looking at. So I'll bring that back in. I'll make it orange. The GU, again, look where I made the liquidity areas. We spiked up into the liquidity. That high there, if I just put this on here, we go along, we've wicked and swept out of it, okay? So again, the harmonic on this one is also strong. Where I'm waiting for it to come back into the 50%. Now, on a harmonic, when you get the ABCD pattern, generally this center part is a key area. And look what should so happen to appear. It's bang on the halfway point of the harmonic. So, like I say, equilibriums, halfway points, they're magnets, you know. So again, we do have to anticipate a pull back down into the area of this. We do have key areas on the buy side, which is the liquidity high of the PM session. We also have fair value, which is that there. It did get tapped into, it's about 50%, but that is the rest of that fair value gap there as well, okay? So what I'm getting at, guys, is I'm technically waiting for this to this, from this, bounce into this, bounce into, up into here, that, and then possibly a resurgence to the buy side. I know there's a lot of lipstick on here at the minute, but hopefully you're following along on the annotation. I'm just going to go and look at the U-Chef, and we'll see what's happening with that. Right, so again, U-Chef, following price down. We've come through that mitigation of fair value. I'm going to get rid of that. Bring this back in here. And then we'll just take a look again. CAD JPY, we had 2%. We know that from earlier this morning. EJ, we're at the 1% again. The GJ, we're starting to get into profits with that. I'm just going to go back to that EJ a minute. Yeah, that's all right. So the USD JPY as well. We are just about at 2% on the EJ, the UJ, sorry. See what's going on in the Discord. Yeah, so we're nearly at 2% on there. I'll be back in a short while we watch these guys. I'll see you in a bit. Right, okay, guys. So we've now got two on winners. We've got the CAD JPY, which obviously this morning. We've now got the USD JPY, which is a 2% winner as well. And EJ, we have 1%. There's 5. It's still in play. GJ, again, it's a roundabout entry. This one I'm going to close off for now because, like I said, it was on a tester. Okay, it is a 50 pip stop loss and it is nearly 100 pip for the profit. So I'm going to discount that. You can see it is at around about the break even. So we'll just cancel that off for now and make that back to being red. So at the minute, we've got 3 pairs. Okay, we've got the CAD-JPY, which we've got 2% winner. You can see clearly there. The USD-JPY, again, this has just went and tapped into the 2%. So that is a 2% winner. And we've got the EJ, which is still in play, but it has tapped the 1%. So basically, out of the, we did have, 4 of them going. We've taken one out of break evens here. We've got 5% out of a possible 2, 4, 6 out of a possible 6%. We've got 5% at the minute. We'll continue to monitor what this is doing and we'll see what it does. Okay. If we add, let's say at the minute, this is like 5% run today. Going this on to yesterday's, there was like 10% with one and lost. So that took it down to 9. So 5% on the 9 would take this to 14% for this week. This is absolutely phenomenal, guys, you know. So again, I'll pause the video. I'll come back. We'll see where the Euro JPY is a little bit later on. Okay, guys, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, guys, so we've come back to the entry. So I'm going to class this as a 1%. Obviously, we would have made this risk-free. So again, to close this off, 2% winner, CAD JPY, 2% winner, USD JPY, the Euro JPY 1%, and it's back at entry. So I'm just going to class this as a 1%. Okay, so that's 5% for the day. And that's it for the end of the session for now. Tomorrow, I am at the hospital because I go and get my bloods done every so often for the medication I'm on for the arthritis I have. Okay, so there'll be no session tomorrow at all. But this week, we close this week off with, if there was, go on to the Facebook because I've been looking at this. So 13% so far this week, plus the 1%, that'll take it to 14. Okay, so again, this is off the winners today. So we'll be at 14% win profits that I've been doing on the videos. Okay, that's phenomenal. You know, there's not nowhere else out there. And what makes this even better is I'm showing you on the chart where the entry would have been, where the SLs are, where the TPs are. You see so many other people on the likes of Facebook and everything else will have, like, especially for gold trades, they'll have a trade and they'll have a green tick and they'll see that many pips was caught. They have not shown you entries, setups, the criteria, the mechanics. They've just said, yes, it's done that, it's done that. that's a green tick, and that's the profit, which is horseshit, to be fair. But I'm not going to go and rant on again. We've getting out at a break even from that after it's done a 1% push. So that's it for today from me, Mr. Forex Fire out. That's 5% on today's trades, guys. Okay, I'll see you later.